Bienvenido, damas y caballeros. Welcome back to Freeform Radio on the Freeform Network. Remember, you could follow us on Twitter at FFR Podcast. And you can send in those questions and suggestions, ffnquestions@gmail.com. But again, this is Freeform Radio. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Daniel. With me today is Noel.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us.
And we have Andy.
It's all good, Andy. I want to thank you guys for joining us, and I'm glad everybody's here this week.
Heck yeah, man. We're together getting this podcast going. It's really hot outside. I mean, I had gone up to maybe just until like Tuesday of this week without the air conditioner, but I had to break down and turn it on.
Man, you're a brave man.
I couldn't go any further. It was kind of balmy at night, and I'm like, I gotta turn this on to sleep. But yeah, man, it's warmish here in the Midwest. It's the summer dog days of summer, is it? What's that saying?
Dog days of summer is usually like July, August.
Oh, okay. Well, we're not there yet to July, but it feels like it, man, with the weather. But I heard it's supposed to cool down this week, so hopefully we'll see that. Maybe get back into the 70s, something a little more normal. But let's jump into this episode, man. Andy, man, did Netflix finally get you? Did Arnold? Who's Arnold? Is it not Arnold Schwarzenegger? Oh yeah, it was Arnold Schwarzenegger that's coming after you for the password sharing. Did he come knock on your door, man? Fill us in.
So I don't pay for Netflix. I actually do have shared. My sister hooks it up with us. She has all those. I only pay for like Prime, Hulu, and that's it. I do have the Max now for free through our phone plan, and everything else that I do get, it's all through my sister password sharing. So like Paramount, Discovery Plus, not Disney Plus, she shares that with us, and she was sharing Netflix. And I'm just like, I haven't really been on Netflix, but this week she sent me a screenshot like, here, like they recognize the main two accounts, which was like her phone and the TV at their house. And so she's like, I don't know what that means. I'm like, I go, are you cutting us off? She goes, I'm not Netflix's. So it finally hit home. I thought it was gonna be sooner, but it's halfway through the year and it finally happened to us. And I think she could pay extra to include us or something to get extra logins. But the price is already high. I haven't paid for Netflix in years, and I haven't even logged in a while. My wife was kind of doing it, and there's so many other options now. Netflix, I think, kind of peaked, and it's not nothing where I'm like, oh man, like I fucking need this. But I don't know if you guys feel the same with so many different options. I think it's kind of like cable when we cut the cord. I'm kind of not like that. We're going toward the streaming where you're going to have to pick and decide what you want to pay for, because some of this shit is getting just as expensive as when we left cable. Because when I left cable, I was pushing over $200 a month, and I still know people that pay for it. And the new pricing is like it's unbelievable with even with this inflation. Something we were going to talk about down the road. It is just like unbelievable how much it is, but. And then, now I'm like, I don't have access to it. So I'm like, what am I going to miss? But I don't feel like I'm missing anything. Everything, some Netflix stuff is leaving Netflix, like stuff that they help produce or paid for. It's not even going to be on their thing. So it's going to be like available to, somewhere else, is from my understanding. Kind of Disney Plus is doing the same. HBO Max is doing the same. I think one of the first shows to leave is one of the first shows they produced, Lilyhammer, the guy from The Sopranos. I think you might have watched it, right, Dan?
Sopranos, yeah. Lilyhammer doesn't sound familiar.
That's
I don't
the
know.
one where Silvio is like in Europe.
Oh, right. Yeah, like he's like in Russia or something.
Or The Hammer or something, like, yeah.
So
that's one of the first shows they produced. And they're like, oh, it's not going to be on Netflix no more. And they're like, but you guys created it or paid for it. And they're like, yeah, it's not going to be the exclusive home. And I did see some stuff on it that like some people think it's a Sopranos. It's the continuation of the Sopranos. When at the end of the show he's in a coma,
Right.
yeah, and then they think that's what's going on in his head. So
Oh.
there is this like conspiracy, some theory about that because I've read that some characters or some actors from the show Sopranos are on that show, and they're saying it's what's going on. What he's going on, he's in the coma.
Interesting. Yeah, it's been a long while since I've seen that show, but I know Alana was a huge Sopranos fan, so we did watch it, and it was okay from what I recall, but I don't really remember too many other Soprano actors in it, if there were any at all. But
Yeah, but again, like going back to the premise is like the Netflix sharing the password. So I'm like, oh shit, I don't have access to it, but I don't think I'm missing much. I mean, I don't know if you still pay for Netflix or you, Noel. And I know it ain't no $10 no more. I know it's pretty up there. I think it's like 19 or $15 or something now.
Yeah, I canceled it around 2020, I think. They had like some anime I wanted to watch, and it was only available in Japan, which pissed me off because I'm like, I'm paying for this. Why can't I watch it like everyone else gets to? And so I even tried to use my VPN to make it seem like I was in Japan, which supposedly would work. And then when I did that and I put the VPN for Japan, it like didn't even want to let me log in. So I was like, you know what, Netflix, fuck you. Like I just canceled. I was done with them and they kept sending me emails like, oh hey, if you want to come back, we'll give you this. I'm like,
Yeah.
nah, fuck this.
I
But
I, I was kind of like you. I did when I had a VPN. I think I wanted to watch Discovery or something, and I heard on Europe it's on Netflix. And then I would try to log in there like England or Ireland, and it wouldn't show up. It was like fucking weird. You see all these things, and I'm like, man, fuck all this. I think, and then that was like, I think that was already when I was like, I'm gonna discontinue all this shit.
yeah, there's so many like other streaming options, and then there's websites where you can get this stuff for free, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Um, Actually, one of the biggest ones just got shut down voluntarily. They chose to shut down RARBG, rest in peace. That was one of the biggest sites and the biggest torrent communities out there, and they just shut down this past week.
I had two sites that I used for like TV. You had to use a VPN though, and those went down recently. I still got a couple for sports, but they're kind of iffy lately. Not they're struggling, but the password sharing, I kind of get it why they're doing it, but I think long term it's gonna hurt them, and I don't think Netflix has the kind of love that it once did because there's just so much shit out there. And there used to be so much great content, and then they all started leaving because these companies started making their own streaming services, and like when they had The Office and Friends and Seinfeld and South Park, like they had all this shit, and like slowly it just started all going away, and I think that kind of hurt them in the long run.
yeah, to
Yeah,
me, I get Netflix for free, so I don't even see a payment on it. But just like you get HBO Max, I think you said
Yes.
for free with your cell phone, I get Netflix with my T-Mobile. But I do watch it actually quite a bit. Usually when I'm winding down or I just want like something in the background, I'll throw on some Seinfeld or something like that, something kind of mindless where I've seen it 1,000 times, and just by hearing the audio, I could visualize the episode in my head. And so while I'm doing something else, I'll have it in the background. But Netflix, you're right. It doesn't have a ton of great stuff, but it still's got some good stuff. One of my talking topics is something that I watched on Netflix, so I do still view it.
Yeah, well, Netflix used to be this like bastion of like last shot to get shows that got canceled on network TV or cable, and Netflix would like, okay, we'll give you a season to wrap up everything, which they did for a lot of shows, and some were good, some were bad, and I I think that kind of went away. Now they're not sharing numbers, and then like a lot of the current content. The last one where I was like, I gotta watch was Stranger Things, and I think like season 3 it got kind of weird for me, and I stopped watching. And like ever since then, like the only thing where they've been somewhat interesting or have good stuff has been their documentaries, and even I think they're struggling in that department lately. So the only thing I kind of got excited for was the Unsolved Mysteries. They redid them, and they kind of changed the format from the 80s 90s style, which is fine. But that's about it. But I didn't wasn't like, oh shit, it's gonna drop today. Like I just waited till they all dropped. And then I watched them, and I'm like, oh, that was cool, but it wasn't enough for me to like. I want to sign up again and get it. I mean, I think that was the last one where I was a show or anything where I was like, I gotta watch it, and like, I think it kind of lost its luster. And they used to have a lot of movies, and then even now, a lot of people from Hollywood are shitting on like Netflix and streaming movies. I think Tarantino just came out with a quote like, "Nobody, we don't know who the fuck watches them, and they're on some server, and like once that shit's gone, like nobody cares." And I feel like a lot of people have that sentiment lately, because once that it's digital and people lose it, like who knows what the fuck happens to it? Who's keeping track, who's storing it, who has it in a hard drive. And physical media, more and more people are going to, you know, talking about physical media, especially since Disney Plus just had like this big purge, and they're gonna dump all these movies, get rid of it. And I saw people, this group that I'm part of on Facebook, shitting on like, I don't gotta worry about it. I got them on Blu-rays or DVDs and stuff.
Yeah, I think this year the best thing that's really like Netflix has going is either Stranger Things, the season 5, the finale, or the what was I was just watching Witcher. The season 3 is the last season with
But
Henry
even
Cavill.
Witcher went through so much shit. Like I watched, I think a couple episodes of the first season. I wasn't on good. I wasn't like, I gotta watch it. Like I'll finish it later. But then later on, I heard there was issues with the main character leaving, and then they wanted more of the inclusivity and all this stuff. I don't know how much of that's true or not.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on with it, but the first 2 seasons were, well received. The people liked it. Season 3 is Henry Cavill's last season, so people are tuning in for that. But then they're gonna replace him because they didn't want to. Henry Cavill was like a really big fan of the actual game series and the
Mm-hmm.
franchise itself, and so he wanted it to be true to that. And they want to like you said, be more inclusive and do this other shit. And so that's why he stepped out. He's like, "No, I'm not doing that."
Representation.
Yeah, I mean, they even did like a prequel and it failed horribly. Like, it's just they don't know what they're doing at Netflix, man.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, it is what it is. A lot of the new shows, my wife's always like, "Do you want to watch this or do you want to watch that?" And I'm like, "Nah, I read stuff. I'm like, I'm not intrigued or don't want to watch." Which one she was asking me? Oh, there's a new Jack Ryan. I think the final season for on Amazon Prime. And she's like, "Do you want to watch it?" And I'm like, maybe. Like, I'm not. The last season, I thought the last season was its last, but I guess they're bringing it for one more. And like I might want to watch that. The only thing I'm watching right now that's new, I finished watching Roseanne, and that was on Peacock. The last season sucked balls, and I searched videos on it on YouTube, and a lot of people agree with me. But I'm on Hulu. I'm watching The Dropout, the Elizabeth Holmes show. I don't know if you guys know about that. And it got me intrigued. But other than that, in Hulu, I don't really want to watch. There's not a lot of stuff on Hulu that like intrigues me. Some of the FX stuff, like I might watch some of the older shows and stuff, but that's about it.
Yeah, man, you're gonna miss out on Unsolved Mysteries, man. I agree with you. The reimagined version, it's pretty good, man.
Yeah, that's what I said. It wasn't. They had to do it. I get it. They can't do like bring out a fucking CGI Robert Stack in a trench coat, going, "Are you ready?" And
Well, they did for the intro. The little
yeah, that's a
silhouette.
silhouette, which was nice. It wasn't like they acknowledged like this is the man that did all that, and then but the way the show is produced, like with that stuff, it was like I was wondering, are they gonna have a fucking host? Are they gonna have like some type of narrator? And they just like dive right into it, which was done pretty well. So I was kind of like, oh, this is good. It's not it's I was kind of nervous about that, I guess, but they did a good job and it didn't interfere with the show's setup. So I was happy about that. Um, but we'll see, man. Like yeah, with the password sharing, I wonder if any other streaming things are gonna go through it because I do share Paramount Plus. My sister helps me with that one. My sister helps me out a lot with that shit. Discovery Plus, and then what's the other one? She got Disney Plus. My wife started rewatching The Mandalorian, the new season, and she watched some of The Willow, which she was kind of disappointed in. But I wonder how long before they start cracking down on that because I know Disney Plus. I think this first quarter of this year they lost 4 million subscribers, so they're in panic mode. And then you hear about all the purging they're gonna do, other content on Disney Plus. So we'll see what happens, man. Um, but let us know what you guys think. If you guys password share on certain streaming sites or apps at ffnquestions@gmail.com, or do you guys even care, or you're a rebel and just go surf on the internet and find some BS website with a shitload of pop-up ads, and then just X them out till you get to the show, to the movie or the episode. But let's go to you, Noel. This early summer or early summer movie season's blockbuster, which didn't go into a lot of the woke nonsense from my understanding, and it got positive reviews. Super Mario Brothers. I know Danny saw it with his kid. What do you have those thoughts, or what do you give us your take on it? I know I seen some stuff trickle out, people buying Blu-rays and DVDs. I didn't even know it was out already. I mean, I think didn't it come out like in April or something?
That's a good question. I actually saw it streaming, and I'm not sure when it actually came out. I'm about to Google that. Um, but yeah, I would say it's really good movie. It's worth watching. Um, when I first heard about it, I was kind of skeptical because I heard it was going to be voiced by a couple of actors I wasn't even sure would be good for the role. So Chris Pratt was going to be playing Mario, and then I keep blanking on the other guy's name, but the guy from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, he was
Yeah,
going to be playing,
Charlie.
yeah,
I
Charlie
don't know
Day.
his real name. Yeah, yeah.
It's his real name, Charlie Day. Uh, he's gonna play Luigi. So I was kind of, skeptical. I was like, man, is that voice gonna work? And Chris Pratt, is his voice gonna work for Mario? It's such a unique, iconic voice. But then when I actually gave it a chance and I watched it, I was really pleasantly surprised because, I mean, you could tell it's his voice, but it's not his normal conversational speaking voice. He does a little twist on it, kind of like in Guardians of the Galaxy, Rocket Raccoon, the voice actor isn't using his actual voice. He's like putting a little twist on it, a little voice actor magic on it. And so Chris Pratt did the same thing. I thought it really worked out well, and he did make it seem
Like
like a Mario.
in Guardians, the voice is the guy from Hangover,
Yeah, that guy.
and
I was blanking on his name too.
then Groot is done by Triple X guy, or the Fast 100 movie guy, Diesel, Vin Diesel.
Man, these guys are getting old. You don't remember any names.
He's like the guy. I just remember Vin Diesel going, "I live for this shit" in that Triple X movie or Agent X or whatever the
Vin
fuck it was called.
Diesel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's Groot.
Yep, that's
He showed
right.
his acting chops on that one. Yeah.
No, yeah, he did pretty well. That was that's separate though. Chris Pratt in his own right, he's a decent actor. He's been in it for a while, so in the the movie, it's pretty well done, and some of the other voice actors here, just to kind of name a few. So Jack Black does Bowser, Anya Taylor-Joy does Princess Peach. So she's been coming up and bigger actor now. It's got the guy from Walking Dead. He does the Penguin King's voice. There's some recognizable voices in here, and so it was interesting to see. Seth Rogen does Donkey Kong, and they throw homages to the games, the originals, the new ones, um, even dating back all the way back to what was it called, Jumping Man or whatever the hell it was, where it's Donkey Kong throwing barrels under like on a you know what I'm talking about, like that old school Nintendo, or was it
Yeah, Donkey
Atari?
Kong.
Is that what the original game
Yeah,
was? Donkey Kong?
no, where
Okay.
Mario was jumping, and then I
Yeah.
think before that, or right after that, or before or after, there was a game called Mario Brothers, and it's just they were throwing hammers or some shit. It was weird.
So they do a lot of homages, and it was really cool to see that. Um, and yeah, I mean it's well received. It's got a 7.2 in IMDb out of 131,000 votes, which is actually pretty good. Metascore, I always like just don't even count it in existence. Like I just void it. Like it shouldn't even exist. But they got it at 46 in Metascore, which it's definitely not a 46. I can guarantee you that. They do a lot of cool like showings. They show the Rainbow Road. They do the Mario Kart thing. They do like you hit the blocks to get the stuff inside. They do the whole star thing, and like it's actually got a story. Bowser's, trying to take over the Mushroom Kingdom, and he wants to marry Peach. And so Peach, he's like kind of holding the Mushroom Kingdom hostage and forcing Peach to marry him. Um, which isn't really a spoiler. I'm not gonna, keep going into detail, but it's essentially the whole plot of it is like Mario's trying to
Well,
help, save the day.
going back to the score stuff, Noel, there's a big thing on some of the YouTube channels I watched. This is one of those movies where a lot of the critics wanted, they were shitting on it on the storyline that you're just talking about. It's kind of like outdated and stuff. And it goes to show you what the review of the fans to that, because the other big one was the one that was highly gave good rating reviews was the Little Mermaid, but the other view the watcher the moviegoers gave it like shit ratings, and everybody else is like, oh, this is decent, it's pretty good, the star this act out, but they give it high reviews, but yet the movie fucking tanked. So and this one, I think a lot of people didn't want it to do too good, and people were shocked how well it did. And they're like, with this storyline that is like, I'll give it to you. It's like it's basic, like woman saved the princess, blah blah blah, and a lot of people didn't like that. A lot of people in the news media.
Well, see, the cool thing I thought was that the Princess Peach kind of holds her own. It's not like they're making her a damsel in distress kind of thing. Although, she's actually trying to she's put in a position where she's got to either agree with Bowser's demands or everybody dies and like the whole kingdom's destroyed. And so she wants to, find a way to, get out of the situation. That's where Mario comes in. That's where Luigi comes in. So it's not really like a damsel in distress type of thing. So, I mean, people that are woke, I guess they're gonna get angry about anything like that, even because that's just how they take things nowadays. Is they see one thing and then they amp it up much more than it needs to be. Uh, and just like you were saying to your comment before about how, maybe the critics didn't, review it right, where the audience did enjoy it. And then the Little Mermaid was the opposite, where the critics thought it was amazing, but the audience didn't like it. Well, the box office results pretty much, prove that Super Mario was actually a good movie. The budget was $100 million.
Yeah.
Opening weekend, it made its money back plus
Yeah.
146 million. Gross worldwide, over $1 billion
Yeah.
made. So I'm like, yeah, this is a successful movie, man.
Yeah. That's what they were saying now. Like Universal, they're the king of animated movies, and Disney's kind of taken aback because the last bunch of movies like Elemental, and then the Buzz movies, all those generally they lost a shit ton of money, um, and they're like, has Disney lost its touch? And a lot of it are people are blaming all the people on the conservative side is blaming their storylines hard. They're pushing their agenda, and like people just want to go and get entertained and don't want to see a bunch of just uh, nonsense that goes against traditional families. I guess. I mean, in my opinion, but
Yeah,
that they're struggling, and people are like, "Oh, the movie business is dead." But you get movies like Mario Brothers, and it makes $1 billion. Nobody in the industry thought that was gonna happen, especially the track record of movies made out of video games. It hasn't exactly been the best. I think Sonic. I don't know if Sonic's made $1 billion per movie, but I'm shocked they keep making it. So they're doing something right, you know.
yeah. That's the thing is like these movies, like as long as you have like a little bit of a comedic element to it, and which Sonic and Mario they kind of do. They have that opening for it. Whereas let's say you made a Metroid movie, you wouldn't really be able to have that comedic element to it that like Mario or that Sonic have because the stories behind Sonic and Mario are just so fantastical. It's cartoonish already to begin with. So to see it made into an animated movie, or in Sonic's case, a live action mix, it worked out really well. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it's like an Oscar worthy movie or nothing. I don't want to hype it up too much, but the 7.2 rating I would say is close to what I would give it. I would give it a 7.5 because it really entertained me, and it's not a super long movie, an hour and a half. Like it's seriously worth a watch. If anyone grew up with the game, just give it a chance.
Yeah, for sure. I think if you grew up playing the original games, the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, even the GameCube, it hits all those nostalgia things. You'll see little things from all the old games, and that's what I thought was really cool. That it wasn't just service for the newer viewers, but even service for some of the retro guys. That you got those little glimpses of things that reminded you of those old games.
Definitely, man. Yeah. But yeah, that's one of the movies I saw recently. Another movie I saw recently was Shazam: Fury of the Gods. It was a sequel to the first one, and I don't know, have you guys seen that one yet?
I have not seen any of the Shazam movies.
Oh man,
No,
what are you
the
doing?
the yeah, I know, man. The first one was awesome, man. I really enjoyed the first one, and I gotta admit, the second one I'm kind of snoozing on, but I do intend to hopefully rectify that and watch it soon.
Yeah, man. I enjoyed it personally. I thought Shazam the sequel, Fury of the Gods. I thought it was a cool movie. It wasn't the best movie. And right now DC is kind of struggling. So, I was kind of trying to support DC at the same time. I wanted to watch it and kind of just hopefully see DC put out another good movie because they've been struggling lately. But it was good. It's worth watching. It's just I wouldn't rush out to see it. Right now, it's got a rating of a 6.0 out of 10 on IMDb. And looking at the box office results here, it had a budget of 125 million and grossed 133. So it's definitely not a success in terms of the box office. And potentially that could be because of the competition it had going into, when it was in theaters. But it's got a little over 2 hours runtime and a lot of special effects. They really went all out with it. There's just so much like damage and destruction that happens, and all the characters that are in it. I grew up watching a lot of these actors. So like Adam Brody, he plays one of the superheroes in it, and Lucy Liu is in it. She's a villain. Helen Mirren is also in it. She's a villain as well. And it's got the Digimon Hansu. He plays the wizard again. He was in Black Adam. He was also in Shazam, the original one. And so it was kind of cool. They kind of balanced it out with the foster home family setup and how they all kind of unite to form this like Shazam team, whatever you want to call it. And it was kind of cool. It reminded me of the Justice League in a way, but more like Stranger Things meets the Justice League. So like imagine if the Stranger Things cast got superpowers, you know? It was a good blend. But it's one of those movies where it's not like I said, it's not going to be winning Oscars. It's not overly dramatic where it hits it hits you in the feels or anything like that. It's just got some cool family oriented storyline that's not woke at all. Even but the women do get their chance to shine, which is cool. I thought it balanced it out really well, where there's male and female characters that they all get to have their chance in the spotlight. So, I would say it's worth watching. Don't it's not something you want to rush out to see, but I would probably give this one a 7.0.
Yeah, it does look okay. I did kind of hear some of the same feedback that maybe it's not as great as the first one, which I thought the first one was great. I thought it was a good movie, but yeah, it kind of killed my vibe to want to go see it. But I think I should go out and check it out because I do tend to try to support DC movies, even though they got rid of my boy Kevin Cavill. They got rid of him as a Superman, so I'm not really digging DC. Well, they actually got rid of all their DC characters. I think they only kept the Aquaman guy. But yeah, I'm excited to see the Flash that's coming out from DC, and I do got to catch up on this Shazam one.
Yeah, it's worth watching whenever you get a chance to get it. You too, Andy. I do recommend it. I don't know if you still even are into comic book movies anymore, but
I'm kind of burnt out. I'm more into I think after Endgame was so good, I've watched one after that, and I remember thinking like, this is fucking lame. Like I'm fucking like I can't. And then like I wanted to get into the Venom movies. I would watch clips of it. And I'm like, eh. Like I couldn't get into it. And then even the Spider-Man movies. Like I love Spider-Man. Uh, I didn't watch the last two. And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm kind of burnt out on it. And then I don't know. The Flash, it intrigues me because it has Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck. I love time travel shit, like movie stuff like that. So I'm tempted to watch that one, even though there's been so much drama regarding that movie and the lead actor. Um, I do want to check it out because the trailers do make it look good.
yeah, I was on the fence with Flash just because of
Yeah.
all the awkwardness with the main actor.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, man, like I remember seeing him in a lot of different things growing up when I was like in the early 2000s. There was a lot of TV shows he was in, movies that I saw. And so he seemed like he was on a good trajectory in his career as an actor. And then somewhere along the line, like, I don't know if just Hollywood pressures or whatever, just changed the way he just interacted as a normal human being, and he just started doing some really outlandish weird shit, and I'm like,
Right.
nah, man, I don't really want to support anything he's a part of at this point. Maybe we'll see in the later on
Yeah, that's
if he,
why. That's why I'm like with you. Like, ah, man, that guy's done some messed up shit. I know he might have some mental issues, but the
Mhm.
trailer, I saw this, the Japanese trailer, and it has a lot more. It's a better trailer, and I'm like, fuck, like I want to watch it, and like,
Yeah,
and then I was just like, ah, man, like, kind of like, it got my. It's like it's a fucking movie, watch it or not, but like, I don't think I'm gonna watch it at the theater. I guess is what I'm saying.
yeah, no, I don't think I'll watch it in the theater either, although it's I do want to see Michael Keaton. That was like one of my
Yeah,
favorite Batmans growing up, man. That OG Batman was good. um
absolutely.
But yeah, there are some good comic book movies coming out. Deadpool 3, that'll be interesting.
Hell yeah, that's Spider Man and the cartoon one. That looks
Oh yeah,
awesome. Yeah,
yeah,
I think it's out this week now, or it came out this past Friday.
yeah. Efren just went to see it. He said he liked it a lot.
Yeah,
I think
that looks cool.
it's got like over an 8.0 right now or something like that. But yeah, comic book movies. I get what you mean, dude. It can cause a burnout because there's just so many to choose from, and but Shazam is one of those where it's if you have time, you're looking for a popcorn flick, and you just want to relax and just watch some wholesome fun movie. Yeah, Shazam is one of those. But moving on to you, Daniel. Looks like even with this heat going, you got the garden stuff going. So, well, what have you been doing in your garden and all that?
Yeah, I started putting in the garden stuff more so this year than last year because last year was our first garden in this house, and where we were planning to put the stuff, it since we had kind of a wetter spring summer last year, it kind of stayed really damped. Not a marsh where there would be water unless it like rained like 3 days in a row. Then you would see like a half puddle of water where we wanted to plant them. So we're like, dang, man, it's like, if you plant stuff in like a marsh area like that where it's constantly underwater, the plants will drown and they won't grow and you won't get a good yield. So uh, we did on top of the soil planting. So we put it like basically on pots. We put everything in pots, but I don't think the plants really dug it. I don't think tomato, cucumbers, peppers, stuff like that. I don't think they're meant to be in pots. So we barely got anything out of it at all. So this year we decided we're gonna do an above ground garden. So we got these like wood boxes from Facebook Marketplace. We found some guys selling them, so we bought a few of them and we planted out our garden. It looks nice. They're growing like monsters right now. Even though it hasn't really rained, but we'll see how the water bill comes in because my wife's been watering them every day. So we'll see how bad that bill is.
Do you get any varmints going into your garden boxes, or do you have any problems with that, like with the squirrels or anything else?
Not yet, just because they're flowering, but none of them have really produced anything. Like on the, we have, I think it's like 4 or 6 tomatillo plants,
Mm-hmm.
and those are starting to have little like um, maybe like blueberry size tomatillos that are starting to grow, but they haven't matured yet. So um, I have seen rabbits and there are squirrels in my area, so hopefully they don't go into it too much. I did hear that if you plant certain other herbs around that area, that it kind of detracts any kind of animal from coming and eating some of your growth or whatever you got there. But I got to re-look into that. But as of right now, nothing's been touching it. It's just been kind of dry these last couple of weeks. So hopefully the water um, will come soon, which I think I heard it's supposed to rain next Saturday. So hopefully that'll fill up my rain barrel because we also have a rain barrel for catching water to kind of help with watering the plants.
I was
So
about to
it
ask you that because we have one over here. Like you seen the big one that we got. Do
right.
you have one like that?
Nothing that big. We
Okay.
have one just regular size, like picture like an oil drum, like that size.
A
55
50
gallon.
gallon or 55?
Yeah, something like that. That sounds right. And we just got to set up on our gutter, kind of like my mom,
Hmm.
to just pick up the water that comes off of the roof. And it with a good rainstorm, like if it rains for a few hours, it'll fill the barrel up pretty quick. So I just need a good rain, and the barrel usually lasts about a week or two, depending on how much you water, and obviously depending on how many plants you have. But for us, it lasts a good 2 weeks if it doesn't rain again. But we're going on to 3 weeks now without any rain. And this is going to be week 4, I guess, technically, of no rain. So I've used up all my rain barrel, and I'm actually thinking about maybe putting a second one in to kind of get us through maybe a longer stretch, maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks without rain, to be able to water my plants without, you know, racking up any kind of crazy water bill. But we'll see, man. We're excited, man, because I love fruits and vegetables, and to me, tomatoes. I usually snack on them at night if we have some. and I'm looking for a snack, and I don't want to get anything really. I don't want to eat chips. I don't want to eat anything kind of heavy. I'll slice up a tomato, put a little lime on it, and bam, man, that shit's good.
You
Same
ever
thing
eat
with cucumbers. Same thing.
a tomato sandwich, Danny? I've seen that before.
I've had tomato BLTs, like bacon lettuce tomato. I'll have some of
No,
those. Like if I have a lot of tomatoes, but not just a tomato by itself.
yeah, I've seen it where they put it in sandwiches with like oil and pepper and stuff. So
Hmm.
and a little bit of salt.
It sounds okay. Like if you were to put maybe some like mozzarella cheese with some tomatoes and maybe a little salt and
It
oil on there,
might, yeah.
that does sound pretty good. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I can't wait till these plants start coming out. I got a feeling I might be a little bit like you, Andy, where I'm a zucchini okay guy. I'm not a fan, but I'll eat them. And we got 4 zucchini plants, and I'm worried
Yes,
that the yield is going to be way too
it's
much.
gonna be a
And
shitload, dude.
yeah, we're going to be eating zucchini every day, it sounds like.
What about
But
some watermelon or pumpkins?
the last year we lived at the other house that we came, we did try to grow watermelon, strawberries, and melons, but they would only come out like softball size watermelons, and it wasn't good. I mean, most of it was rime, and I just don't think that. Well, that in that area as well, we had gotten really bad water bills the years before, so I kind of told my wife like, let's just let Mother Nature take care of these, and we'll sprinkle some water every now and then, but we're not going to be watering these things every day. And that might have contributed to why. But yeah, it kind of got me away from like, man, this isn't the climate for like
Yeah,
fruits and stuff like that.
like the zucchinis and some of that stuff. They don't need all that. They grow on their own. If you give them water, they'll fucking grow massive. Um, like when I think we talked about it in the past, where my wife grew zucchini and squash, and these fucking squashes, like yellow squash, were like huge, dude. Like it was like holy shit. She didn't really. She just water them, and I got like squashed out. Like we had squash spaghetti, zucchini spaghetti, and like just fucking dice them up and fucking grill them and like put them in like every type of like a type of stir fry, like with some meat. And I'm like, that summer, like I loved squash and like and I would zucchini was alright. By the end of that summer, I'm like, I'm fucking done. I'm like, I can't eat this shit. And then we've added like with quesadillas that like you dice them up and like every form of way I ate it. And I'm like, I got sick of it, and I used to love it. And I'm like, I'll have them once in a while, but not like I'm not looking for them, I guess is what I should say. I'm like, oh man, I want some this or that. Like, no, not no more. Because she produced so much of that, we couldn't even give the stuff away. And I felt bad because we had some huge pieces. I'll chop it up, I'll grill something, and little olive oil and some salt and pepper, and it was good. It's just, dude, it was like every day.
Right, right. Yeah, I'm not a huge zucchini fan, but I'll have it. I mean, like you mentioned, some stir fry with the steak. You kind of just grill some out. So I'm down with zucchini, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm really excited. Hopefully, we'll have a good yield, and it's looking good so far, man. Something else I wanted to talk about was speaking of Netflix, the Cobra Kai. I finished the season 5, which is the last one that they did, and man, it was like a bring everybody back from the old Karate Kid
The movie.
movies. Yeah, it's like everybody shows up, everybody does a little cameo, which wasn't a terrible thing, but it was just like really overwhelming with the characters. I kind of felt like it was the most like shotgun Cobra Kai with just so many characters, so many plot points going on that it wasn't the strongest in my feeling. Now, towards the end, it did kind of focus back in a little bit, and then the last episode, I thought they were going into like uncharted territory when I actually thought like a character like bit the dust, but then like always, like every kids TV show, oh, he's okay. Here you go. Come on, get up and let's get going. And it kind of like at first I thought, wow, I can't believe they're doing this, and it was really getting me not excited because I don't want to see people die, but it's a TV show after all. But it did give me like, wow, they're not afraid to do this. It's crazy.
You got
Um,
emotional then?
a little bit, yeah. So it worked. It worked what they were trying to do. But from the way it wrapped up, I feel like there is going to be a season 6. So we'll see if season 6 does come around. I haven't really heard anything, but to be honest, I don't really keep up too much with social media and stuff. So I'm not sure if they're advertising it. But season 5 was okay. If you want to see all the characters from Karate Kid 1 through 3, um, definitely tune in to
Yeah,
Cobra Kai season 5 because they're all in there.
I saw pictures of the guys from the guy from Okinawa, right? That you keep for your collection. I saw pictures of him. I saw pictures of the karate bad boy. I saw pictures of the old sensei's friend from Vietnam. I saw pictures of so many like stills and stuff on on Twitter, and I'm like, holy shit! Like they're bringing back everybody. That's why I wasn't sure if that was gonna be the last season, but it sounds like they left it open for another season, huh?
That's what it felt like. I was under the same impression. There was so many characters that I'm like, all right, they're going out with a bang kind of thing. But the way they kind of wrapped it up, I could see an opening for a season 6. So I don't know
Oh,
if
that's
it's in
for
the
sure. Yeah,
oh it
that
is
is for sure. It's gonna be their final season. It's coming out
okay.
this year.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's the way it kind of wrapped up. So have you seen season 5, Noel?
Oh yeah, dude. I saw it when it like pretty much when it first came out. Um, yeah, I get what you mean. I agree for the most part with what you were saying. It kind of was like deviating from what originally made the show really good in the first couple seasons, and then it did kind of come back at the end, and I feel like it wrapped up well, but I know exactly what you're referring to when you thought somebody was gonna die and then they didn't. I was like, I felt the same thing. I was like, man, this guy, like he was probably he was such a cool character, especially in that
Right.
season. I
Uh-huh.
was like, man, yeah, I was like, I was happy that he didn't die, but at the same time, it kind of took away from like the realism of it.
Right.
And I was like, most people would have died like that, in real life, he'd be dead. but
For sure.
but he's got that Cobra Kai in him, so yeah, he's gonna survive another year.
Right.
Um, yeah, it was good though.
Yeah, it was good. So I want to encourage people, Cobra Kai fans especially. Season 5 is definitely a watch. It's
I'm on Netflix then.
yeah. If you get the password from somebody and watch Netflix, Cobra Kai season 5. And the last thing I want to just quickly talk about was I watched Ghost Rider, the movie with Nicolas Cage, for the first time. I had
The
never
first
seen
one
it.
or the sequel?
Well, the first Ghost Rider
Yeah.
movie.
Okay.
Yeah, was there a sequel to this
There
thing
was a
by
sequel
Nicolas
where,
Cage?
yeah, he was
Jesus.
like they do like where he's young, so he comes out, and then they have like a young something like that. Like he was in half the movie or something.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it was the first time, and for being a superhero movie watcher, as we've been talking about a lot in this episode, I had never seen the first Ghost Rider, so first of all, I couldn't find this anywhere. I'm sure it's probably on Disney, but Disney is one of the streaming things that I don't have. So I was looking everywhere to see if I could find it, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I had to find it on a streaming site, one of those secretive streaming sites, and I finally watched it. And I gotta say, man, it wasn't half bad. Now it wasn't good either, and maybe time hasn't done it well, but it was pretty good, man. I thought the story was half decent. Got kind of hokey at the end with the two ghost riders and this and that, but I thought it was okay. I don't know if you guys ever watched it or if it even intrigued any of you guys.
I mean, I remember coming out. If I remember correctly, Sony made it, right? And it was part of the Spider-Man thing or something. But I didn't. I read the reviews and people weren't feeling it. And then I remember it did like enough interest. They made a sequel, but they put like Nicolas Cage half, and then they were using another guy as a young Ghost Rider or something. And then that was it for the character. And I think of Agents of Shield, they brought Ghost Rider back, but they made him Mexican or something. Like that's all I remember from like the Ghost Rider and any of these live action things. Um, and it's such a cool character, right, in the book. And then I think the movies, kind of like you said, I think some people found it hokey, and it wasn't like. I guess they couldn't explain the flaming skull or something. I don't know. Just people didn't feel it.
Yeah, yeah. Going back, so it was 2007. This came out. Um, it had some cool moments in it. I just I wasn't super excited about Cage playing him. I thought like maybe they could have gotten someone that was a little younger at the time.
You
Because
see Nicolas Cage more as a Superman?
yeah, no, not even that, man. I know he likes them a lot. I know he really wanted to play Ghost Rider and Superman, but I just don't think I don't see him as that. I've seen him in so many other roles. I don't buy it, you know. So just all right, to put in perspective, he's born in 1964. So in 2007, he's already 40 in his 40s, 43. So I'm just like, I just don't see
Fuck.
a 43-year-old man being very intimidating as Ghost Rider, you know.
God
But
damn, I'm 45, Noel.
I mean, your Ghost Rider days are over, ain't I'm sorry.
Nah, bro. I still got it, man. I'm an intimidating prick. Well, I think I am.
Yeah, no, Ghost Rider was okay. I don't want to oversell it, but I don't want to undersell it either. I think it was okay, and maybe if I watched it back in the day when it first came out, it probably would have ranked a little higher. But it was an average movie. But I'm glad I watched it just because it was a hole in my superhero movie watching. So I'm glad I rectified that and took care of it.
So, real quick, then, are you gonna try to watch the sequel?
No, no, I was just curious for Nicolas Cage in the first one, just because I had never seen it, and I think for the most part I've watched all of the superhero movies, even the Punisher, the original one, with that old the actor, I forget his name from Hung, that guy. Uh,
Yeah. I mean, but that guy at one time was like the it guy, and then
right,
I think
right.
Punisher kind of derailed all that.
Yeah, I don't know what happened because I even thought the first Punisher was pretty good, and then they went to that second Punisher where I think they recast it,
Yes.
and then he was like swinging on chandeliers, like spinning in
Awesome.
circles, and I'm like, dude, this is awful, man. What the hell
That's
are they
what I
doing?
expected in the first one. Like he just
Nah.
murdering You know that guy just died recently, right? You know that?
Oh,
Like,
did he?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I did see him
Ray
on some.
Stevenson or something. Yeah.
Right, right.
You got to watch the TV series, dude. If you like Punisher,
Oh, yeah.
that was really good.
Yeah, for sure. The Netflix thing. And supposedly there's word that it might come back because they're working on the Daredevil and that they might do
Yeah,
like a Daredevil Punisher like combo
yeah,
thing. So
yeah. That'd be
r-
sick.
really excited, man. I don't know if it's going to be on Disney or Netflix, but we'll
I
see.
think it's Disney.
Disney? Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll have to check it out. Maybe I'll have to subscribe to it or not. But with all this inflation, I don't know if I'm going to be able to. And that kind of takes us into the article of the week. So I got this article from CNBC, and it speaks to something that we're all familiar with, inflation. Nowadays, man, the only thing that has dropped back to somewhat normal are eggs. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. We just went to Aldi yesterday, and the eggs were like $1.12, and we're like, holy shit, they're back to normal. Before, man, it was like almost $12 a dozen, man. It was ridiculous. But getting into the article, it's kind of a wacky article speaking about how there's four products that have beaten inflation and not been influenced by it, and prices are somewhat where they used to be and have not gone up. So I won't read the entire article, but needless to say, there are four products that have not gone up significantly or not changed at all. since inflation started about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years now. First one here is Arizona iced tea, which has been famously 99 cents forever. The cans, and those are the ones that I usually drink. Are those big, like 40-ounce cans that they sell, kind of those bigger size 23-ounce ones? It says here.
I remember those being 99 cents in high school and college, and people used to drink them. The green one and the pink can, right? Because it was like
the green tea, right? Yeah, for sure.
I'm still shocked that they're $1. I mean, I haven't really looked for them in a long time, but yeah, they're still $1. Good for them.
Right. The other one here is Hot Wheels with the $1 toy cars, which when Junior was really into toys and whatnot, he did enjoy his Hot Wheels, and we did have a small collection of Hot Wheels when he was a little kid. So those are still $1. So it's good to hear about that.
My son is into monster trucks, Hot Wheels at the Dollar Tree. They're $1.25. But they're all like plastic, so I don't know if the cars are cheaper or better made, like with steel or whatever. But the lot of the monster trucks from the Dollar Tree, they're all plastic, but they're not. I mean, I don't care if we lose them or whatever. It costs me $1.
Right. The next one here, Costco $1, 150 hot dog and soda combo. Man, this is a great value, dude. And I mean, I don't know if you guys have memberships to Costco or even Sam's Club. Sam's Club's hot dog is pretty good too. But this is awesome. This is a great treat. And I think even my wife, when we were getting out of church today, she's like, we haven't had a hot dog from Costco in a while. We should go. And I'm like, yes, because she was asking me what the article was going to be. She's like, we should go for lunch. So I think after we record this, I'm heading down to Costco. But Costco, $150 for a hot dog and soda combo, man, and it's still rocking. And then the last one here on the article, Planet Fitness, $10 per month membership. This is still going, and I could adhere to it just because our membership is also $10 a month for us here in the family. But yeah, man, 4 things that have kind of stayed around the same price or kind of gone up a little bit maybe. I think to your point, Andy, the Arizona cans, I think I've seen some that say like $1.29, but even that, a 29-cent increase, it's lower than what inflation is over all these years, because just in this last year or two, they said that inflation rose up about 13%. So everything went up about 13%. So it's kind of crazy. Don't know if you guys have taken advantage of any of these things, or have you noticed in the while shopping that these prices are still about the same?
The Planet Fitness one I did use back in the day. To know that it's still $10 is actually pretty good. I imagine it's just because their business model is pretty decent, where you do get a good value for the $10. And yeah, I have a feeling like they have probably like good deals with their suppliers and shit.
Well, the article states, Noel, that the black card membership did go up $5, so it's 25. That used to be 20,
right?
So that went up to 25, and then you do get good bang for your buck. I think the only thing that it doesn't talk about, there's that one-time yearly fee, or whatever they want to call it. I'm pretty sure that might have gone up to adjust for some of that, but they didn't talk about that in the article.
That is true. They do have that one-time fee. I want to say it's like $60, and that's probably
Mine's
where they're
40 because I've fucking had it forever.
That's probably why, is because that they hide the price of they keep the $10 monthly fee, but then they just increase the yearly renewal fee or whatever they once a year they charge you, right? Yeah. So they're probably just hiding the increase in there.
So does the black card have the fee too, or no? Do you know?
Yeah, I believe all the memberships. And to be honest, now that you brought that up, I didn't realize how much more expensive it was. But I don't see a lot of people tanning and getting the massage chairs and stuff like that. Because when I used to go to the gym like 5-6 years ago, man, that was packed. You had to sign something to maybe get in for the weekend kind of thing because they were always packed and filled. But now when you go to the gym, they're all empty. I mean, if you just walk in and go like, "Hey, can I get a massage?" and you're a Black Card member, you could probably just go walk in and get it.
At the old gym before I moved, they even threw in haircuts for a while,
Right.
but the problem was nobody was ever there. They never had a stylist or a barber, whatever you want to call them, and people, yeah, I mean it was crazy. It was just like the one over there, the one by my house. I've gone to a handful of times, and the gym is picking.
Pretty in pink one, Andy.
No,
Or
man,
what was
it's
the one you went to?
the Planet Fitness.
Oh, I thought the haircut place. What was the name of that haircut place you
Oh,
used to
the
go
old
to?
Italian place? Yeah, pretty in style or something. It was weird, right? And it was like a bunch of old Italians, like old school, doing the haircuts, but the name was Pretty Pink Haircut or Stylist or something.
Right. I remember
Uh,
when you guys first took me there, you and I think Dave, because you guys
mm-hmm.
both went there. And I was just like, Purdy and Pink. Nah, dude, I'm not getting my hair cut here. And yeah, it wasn't until you walked in and got to like the area that those old Italian guys were at that I was just like, oh, okay, it looks
They
cool. But I'm
they
like,
were
man, are we going to a salon? Where the hell is this?
they were one of the first businesses that I remember. I would get a haircut as an adult. The last time I went, it got kind of pricey, but they were advertising that they take Bitcoin, and I'm like, what the fuck is Bitcoin? And that was like 10 fucking years ago. And I was like, man, I don't know. I guess the guys were ahead of time, but it wasn't the same old Italian barbers. It was like some younger Italian guys now. And but yeah, man, my dad used to take me there when I was a kid. I can't imagine how much they cost now there. I'm thinking like $20+.
Hey, what was the barber that was by Best Buy that you used to go to,
Oh,
Diane?
that was a good spot too.
Yeah, that was a good one. I don't remember his name or the name of the spot, but
Oscar,
yeah,
my cousin. I think.
yeah. Yeah, that was a great spot. I missed that one. But yeah, man, I can't even imagine what pricing are right now. I know for Junior, for his haircuts, they're like $25.
Ooh,
But
dang.
but he goes to Sports Clip, so I don't know if
Shit.
that's just a haircut or if that's when they throw on like happy ending at the end, or I don't know.
Man, the happy endings for 25? Shit. Well, the place by my house is a Great Clips. I only go when I get
The coupon.
the $11. It used to be $10. It's $11. And then they used to go to the Jewel by my house, and the back of the receipts was this $5 off coupon. They got rid of all that shit, and it ain't like exactly they do the best work, but man, yeah, if you go to a real barber, it's like that's how I was thinking. It's gonna be like $20+ plus tip. Like,
Plus tip, right?
and then you're thinking like, if I give this guy $3, is he gonna get pissed off at me? Like, right? Like, yeah, it's because it's a professional. Like, it's just a weird time. And then like we kind of talked about in the past, everybody wants tips now, and like, do you tip everybody or do you not? And now people have the people that are working have the balls to say you're not gonna tip us. Like, people get upset now.
Yeah, man. We just went somewhere. I forgot where it was. I think it's when we went to Lake Geneva, and we just went in the morning for like coffee and cookies or some shit, and there was a tip thing, and I'm like, dude, it's like ordering like at Dunkin' Donuts. What am I gonna tip the guy that's bringing me the donut and
Yeah,
coffee? I'm like, man, it is nuts. I don't get all this tipping thing going crazy
like
now.
when we go to lunch to that sandwich place, I don't want to name the name off of Lake Street, and when they do the little flip, when they swipe the card, like do you want a tip or something, and they flip it over. That's like a thing now. They just did CNBC did a whole video, a package, and an article about it. Like, is this getting out of control? And people, when you go pick up stuff, and like people like, do you want a tip? Do you want a tip? When you tip, and a lot of people feel awkward to say no. I was in the beginning, but now I'm like, nah, I ain't tipping shit. And like, I'm picking up stuff, like, and the people they talk to people like, I feel like I'm obligated to give something, even though the only services is they made my food. They're not even bringing it to me. I'm going to pick it up.
Right, right. That to me is the big line in the sand for tipping. If I'm sitting down and you're bringing something to me, then all right, cool, you're serving me. But if I order something at the counter, if I go to TBK and I'm ordering some tacos and you flip that screen around when I'm paying and it says tip at the bottom, I'm putting zero and I'm just rolling because what the hell? I'm grabbing my own food. It ain't like you're bringing it to me on my table. Great food, by the way, but I
Well,
tipping is when somebody brings things out to me.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like back when you used to pay cash, at least you would put. They had a thing. You just put your loose change, or like not the dollars, but you put your change. I feel like people are losing out, you know. And ever since with the card, it's so weird. I think everybody just expects it, you know.
I,
Right, right.
for me, it's been about their politeness or their service. If they have really good service, yeah, I'll give like a dollar 50 tip. It's like it's not gonna break the bank to do that, and maybe it'll make them feel better, and maybe it'll, you know, they'll remember me the next time I go in. They'll be like, oh yeah, give this guy extra meat or whatever,
What
extra
happened
frijoles.
when he goes? That's it. $1.50. What are you gonna do,
Nah,
Noel?
then I don't go back there anymore.
Then
Then
what
they
if
lose.
he spits on your food or something?
Nah, they'll lose my business. But they're not gonna. I don't think they would do that.
Nah,
If I
dude.
tipped a
People.
dollar.
I guess it depends where. I think. But the
I think
article, the video, I gotta dig it out. They do say some people are like, "Oh, you're not gonna do nothing. Like, we're like busting our backs here. The pandemic, the labor shortages, and like they made some customers feel awkward, and like some of them felt like they were getting held up. Like you're being like, give us more money. Don't fucking go nowhere. We're gonna remember this, and people
Right.
fucking got weirded out.
like for example, the Subway I go to, I'll give like a dollar or $1.50 tip or whatever it is. It's like 15%, but the total's like $15 or something. So
They
yeah,
can't
it'd be
even
like
get
a
a nice
dollar
tea with
50.
that, bro.
I mean, but the way I look at it is like he made the sandwich in front of me. I see what he's doing. He didn't spit in it, obviously. And then he did it with a smile. He was polite and all that. And sometimes, I'll ask him for something like bacon and they'll put a little extra on it. And I noticed that. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'll ask him
And
for spinach. They'll put a little extra spinach. All right, here's your tip.
what happened? You're
But
like, hey,
like,
bro, I forgot to unwrap that. I want to toast it and take the lettuce and tomato out. You gonna
I
give them
mean,
extra?
yeah, I'll give him maybe something. But
Nah, I wouldn't give them
it,
shit.
it, it all depends, because like obviously if it's something like Wendy's, right? And this is like they're putting out hundreds of burgers a day. My burger's not any special than anyone else's burger. No, I'm not gonna tip that because that's just them doing their job. And this guy, technically at Subway, he is just doing his job too. He's not necessarily entitled to anything special, but sometimes I'll do that. I'll be like, it's on me. I want to give you a little something extra. I know I'm gonna come back here. I know you're the only motherfucker that's ever working here. Every time I'm here, I always see you. I'm like, I want to be on good terms with this guy and be like, here's an extra $1.50, whatever. And it's worked out. It's paid dividends. It's been, nice there.
You ever think he goes like, here comes this motherfucker with his spinach and shit? Fucking Tyler thinks he gets out this extra. That's what I imagine.
Yeah, that spinach is
Hey,
good, man.
hey, Andy, how much do you think Oscar tips for his services,
It
or when he
depends,
gets,
man.
services?
I think he's a good tipper, but he expects a lot of, like, he wants people smiling and dancing, shit like that. And if you don't, I mean, you've heard the stories. He's like, that bitch didn't smile when she was making my sandwich. He like turned around and walked out and like went somewhere else to like
He,
Ozzy's or Alan Joe's.
I think he was the originator of the boycott, man, because we stopped
Yeah,
going there and that company went out of business, man.
yeah.
Holy shit.
They were making commercials with hamsters or some shit, and then next thing you know, you never heard about them again.
Uh-huh.
You never heard that story, Noel? He went to the
Nah.
Quiznos on North, and then he goes, "Man, fuck that place. When they made my sandwich, that lady wasn't smiling. She was pissed off. So I said, fuck this,' and he just turned around and walked out.
Dang, dude.
And
That's
then
crazy.
Quiznos went under sooner right after that. The pump, their stock went down.
Yeah, Quiznos was actually good for a while, man. They went out of business quick though.
I think they were the
Yeah.
originators of toasting the bread.
Yes.
Now
Yeah.
Sam's Club does it all the time.
Yeah.
Subway
Subway
and
followed
yeah.
suit.
Subway, yeah, Subway.
Yeah, because they didn't do it for a long time. For decades, they didn't do it. And then all of a sudden, Quiznos comes out of nowhere and they're like, yeah. But yeah, I thought you were gonna say that Oscar asked for like a discount and shit. I'm like, damn. So he actually did tip. That's good.
Yeah, no, he tips. He wants people like acknowledging him, like American meat. Like, hey, look at me when I place this order, and like when you make it, you be happy about it. If he doesn't get that vibe, he'll fucking leave or say fuck this. I'm not like he'll leave. He's done it a bunch of times. But he
Yeah,
also
I
likes
get
how
that.
food looks. Like if he liked this burrito place because when they made the burrito, it wasn't sloppy. It was like neat. Everything was like perfect and like it was all right. But he loved that it looked like that. And to this, I don't know if when he comes visit, he wants to go there. But like, oh, let's go over here now, man. Fuck that. That burrito's soggy or it's fucking not wrapped right. Fuck it, let's go over here. And then it's like perfectly wrapped and like good. It looked good looking and shit like that.
Man, you guys are getting me hungry now, dude.
No.
I haven't eaten anything, so I think I think it's time for me to go get something to eat, and that means we have to wrap things up for today. But I do want to say thank you so much for joining us on the Freeform Network. If you're not already, please follow us on Twitter at FFR Podcast. And if you have any questions, suggestions, anything you want to hear about, maybe us talk about, any subjects or anything, any questions for us, just drop that email at ffnquestions@gmail.com. Well, from Freeform Radio, my name is Noel, and we have Daniel.
Yes, sir. I'm also hungry. Going to Costco. I'll come back with the review on that hot dog. See if it's still worth $1.50.
Hell yeah. And we got Andy.
It's all good, Andy, and don't forget, Danny comes with a soda, so that's the second option there. So it's a lot of bang for your buck there. But we'll
Nice.
catch y'all next week, guys.
Well, we wish you a great night and a beautiful tomorrow.
That was cool, Dad.